Hi, I'm Jane, and I'm here to tell you about a little bit about my journey to China this summer. Um, it all all this started when eighth grade, when I first was exposed to Chinese language. We were actually supposed to learn Spanish, and our Spanish teacher moved on to a different school. So one of the parents knew Chinese and came in and started teaching us. And that was when I was first exposed to a classic Chinese story, Journey to the West. And I was just inspired by it because I just loved the story so much. And so I went ahead and made this little guy in art class the character, the Monkey King from the story. When I made him, I didn't realize how big a deal he would be later on in my life. But before I talk about my journey, I'll tell you a little bit about the classic story Journey to the West. Long ago, the monkey was born from a rock and soon became king of all other monkeys. He traveled a long time in order to find an immortal who would also give him immortality. The master also taught Monkey the 72 transformations, magic tricks that would allow him to change form, but eventually kicked Monkey out because of his arrogance and pride. Monkey goes on a spree, using his powers for his own good and terrorizing other magical deities. After many other attempts, Monkey is finally controlled by Buddha, who imprisons him under a mountain. After this, the main story of the journey to the West begins, when a monk named Tripitaka is sent on a journey to retrieve Buddhist sutras from India. But because of the dangerous nature of the trip, several former demons are enlisted to protect him, including Monkey. There is also Pigsy, Sandy, and Dragon Horse. After years of miracles and disasters, the group is finally able to reach India and bring back the sutras for translation. The Monkey King has always been my favorite character in the journey to the West, and so when I learned I was going to China, I thought who better to help protect me on my journey to the East. One of our first excursions in Beijing was to the Summer Palace, a giant, beautiful garden that dates back to 1750.
So this is day 2 and we're at the Summer Palace.
We even got to see some artwork of Monkey in the longevity corridor.
We're in the longevity corridor and here's a painting of Monkey defeating a ghost. And over here with Pigsy and Tripitaka.
Then we climbed to the top of the hill to see the Tower of Buddhist Incense.
Well, we made it to the top. It would have been better if this little guy was a little more helpful making up all the stairs. So
that was a crazy first week. We even got to climb the Great Wall of China.
So here we are at the Great Wall. I thought the Summer Palace was bad, but this was quite a climb.
I wasn't able to get very many pictures of Monkey there because we climbed so much. But at least we got to ride toboggans down. Later we were able to visit Tiananmen Square, where we could see many of the country's monuments, such as Chairman Mao's Mausoleum and the Great Hall of the People. And then we went to the Forbidden City, a huge, beautiful Ming Dynasty palace right next to the square.
So here we are at the entrance of the Great Hall. Unfortunately, I'm a little too close for you to see very well. We just came in through Tiananmen Square. Of course, I wasn't going to film Monkey here or there because they're very restrictive about what you can film there. But yeah, this is awesome. So here we are at the top of the temple at Jinshan Park. And down there we can see the Forbidden Palace.
Although the history of China is important, it is also important to consider the future of this fast-growing country. And what better way to see this than to visit the Bird's Nest and Water Cube, the site for the 2008 Olympics.
So here we are at the Bird's Nest. As you probably can see, it could be going a little bit better. A monkey was injured, missing his arm, and it's raining just a little bit, but that's okay. I'm still really excited to be here, and I really can't believe I'm here right now. Here we are inside the stadium, and you know, you can't really tell on the video, but it just feels so huge in here. You cannot get that feeling from just looking at it. But like even here, you can kind of see how it's so long that the mist is even covering up the other side of the stadium.
Another must-see in Beijing is the Temple of Heaven, where the emperor used to worship heaven.
So here we are at the Temple of Heaven. As you can see, it's 2 days later since the Beijing Olympic Stadium, and it's still kind of rainy out, but it's beautiful nonetheless. And it's so impressive. Our tour guide just told us that the whole thing was made without nails. It's all wood and no nails. So, something you just gotta see, I guess.
One of the things I learned in China was that it's not necessarily where you are, but what you're doing that can make the fun. One of the most fun things we did was go to a tea house where we saw an opera performance of Monkey King. We also got to see some real monkeys at the Beijing Zoo.
So here we are at the Beijing Zoo. We just got back from looking at the pandas, and now Monkey is hanging out with some of his monkey friends. A Chinese snub-nosed monkey. Can't really see it very well.
The Chinese snub-nosed monkey is one of my favorite animals, but I think we all enjoyed seeing the pandas the most. My month in China went really fast. Our last weekend was a side trip to Xi'an, an ancient city towards the center of China. There we saw another performance of monkey, but this time through their famous shadow puppets. Unlike Beijing, Xi'an's entire city wall is still intact.
So here we are walking around the city wall of Xi'an. We just came from the west gate. I just read a placard on the wall. You can see how wide this road is. That said, I used to be able to have 6 carriages on it at a time. So it's pretty big and pretty high up. It's pretty amazing.
Another amazing sight in Xi'an is the bell and drum towers. Great places to view the city.
So here we are at the bell tower in Xi'an. You can see most of the city, shopping center, all the pretty buildings. And right behind us is the tower. It's really tall. And there's birds flying everywhere for some reason. I'm not quite sure why.
Xi'an is a city with an ancient history, and we really got to see that when we visited the Terracotta Soldiers, a giant mausoleum complex built by the Emperor Qin Shi Huang.
So here we are at the Terracotta Soldiers. It's really big. It's hard to imagine how big it is. The sign outside said they're expecting to find at least 6,000 of them, although I'm not quite sure how many there are here, but there's quite a lot. And a farmer just found this digging a well. It's amazing to think about that they didn't even know about this until 1970s.
As amazing as the Terracotta Soldiers were, one of my favorite parts of my journey to the east was still visiting the Wild Goose Pagoda.
So here we are at the top of the Wild Goose Pagoda. It's a really fitting end to my journey because this is the place where Tipitaka brought the sutras back from India. So it's really quite amazing to be here, and we had a lot of steps. I wish I would have Getting a little help from Monkey here on that, but you can't really help. Yeah, it's just so fitting to my last weekend here. We end up at the Wild Goose Pagoda. So here we are right outside the Wild Goose Pagoda. We just got down from climbing from the top. It was a little bit scary coming down just because the stairs were so steep, but it's really pretty out here. As hot as today was, it's really nice to come out here and enjoy these gardens that surround it. All these buildings around here have different like statues of Buddha, and it's just really interesting.
Last semester I took a Chinese culture class, and for my final paper I wrote about Journey to the West. And one of the things I wrote about was the contrast between Monkey and the monk Tripitaka, how their character flaws and strengths balanced each other out and helped them move along on the adventure. When I started my adventure journey to the east, I was a lot like Tripitaka. I'm nervous, I'm shy, I'm easily scared of situations, and I need a monkey along, and that's a good thing I brought him because the character Monkey has always been a very proud, arrogant, and strong character, and I need some of that. And travel really this trip really allowed me to grow in a way that only travel can provide. By getting out of your comfort zone and really being able to see a new context, I was able to grow and become stronger as an individual. And I really enjoyed myself, so there's a plus.